You wake up and check your bank account. That number on your screen quietly decides almost everything about your day: what you eat, where you live, and whether you sleep soundly or stare at the ceiling doing anxious mental maths at 2 a.m. In Australia right now, the average household net worth sits at $1.66 million. But that average is a lie. Behind it, some Aussies are deciding between groceries and fuel, while others are deciding between buying their third investment property or their fourth. Today, we are walking through every single level of wealth in this country, from rock bottom to the absolute top. You'll see exactly where you sit, and more importantly, learn what it actually takes to bridge the gap and move up. Let's start below the poverty line, where nobody wants to be, but where 1 in 7 Australians currently live. For a single adult, the poverty line sits at $584 a week. At this level, you aren't saving or investing. You are strictly rationing. You learn exactly when supermarkets mark down meat, and you know your bank balance down to the cent. Not because you're disciplined, but because a single surprise cost, like a car registration or a dental bill, can completely unravel your entire month. Stepping up, we reach the getting by zone. You have a job earning around $55,000 a year, bringing home roughly $850 to $1,000 a week. It sounds okay until you look at housing. The median capital city rent for a unit has hit $650 a week. In Sydney, that rent is closer to $760. If you live in a major city, over half your income vanishes before you buy a single grocery item. You might have $10,000 saved, but inflation is eating it faster than it can grow. Next is the median income zone, between $76,000 and $100,000 a year. The full-time middle range in 2026. You might own a reliable car and hold an emergency fund of up to $30,000. You are surviving comfortably day to day, but the big goals feel distant. That's because the median capital city house price has cracked $1,014,000. A standard 20% deposit is over $200,000. Even a 10% deposit requires more than $100,000. If you save a disciplined $1,500 a month, securing that basic deposit takes over 5 years. Now we enter the traction zone, with a household income between $150,000 and $250,000. This is typically a dual-income professional couple. Suddenly, things shift. You can put away $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and you likely own your first home. Your combined superannuation is healthy, and you have significant savings outside of it. You can finally breathe. You shift from pure survival to active strategy, thinking about index funds, salary sacrificing, and building a proper financial future. Next, you enter the top 10%. Your individual income is over $137,000, and your household net worth is around $2 million. You own a home, likely have an investment property, and your super is thriving. You take overseas holidays without relying on credit cards. But here is the secret about this level: you still won't feel rich. You're surrounded by people who have more, and you're paying serious tax. If your wealth is locked up in property, your actual daily cash flow can still feel surprisingly tight. This is where lifestyle creep becomes your biggest enemy. You upgrade the car, private school fees kick in, and the holidays get pricier. Suddenly, a household earning $250,000 can feel just as trapped as someone earning a fraction of that. To hit the top 5%, you need $3 to $4 million in net assets. This is where wealth genuinely compounds. Your investments are throwing off roughly $50,000 a year in passive income. That's a full median salary earned entirely while you sleep. At this level, you stop trading time for money and start trading money for time. You can safely choose to retire early or take a year off without panic, because your accumulated money is doing the heavy lifting for you. Then there's the top 1%. This requires GSM wealth of roughly $8.3 million, though it varies by age. For those under 40, the threshold sits at $3.1 million, while for households over 65, it jumps past $10.9 million. At the 1% mark, you don't worry about daily expenses. Instead, you focus on asset allocation, tax structures, family trusts, and estate planning. You have advisors on speed dial and are focused entirely on legacy and protecting generational wealth. Finally, there is the ultra-high net worth tier, over $30 million in liquid assets. These are business founders, property developers, and executives. Australia has a growing number of them, and the gap between this group and everyone else widens every single year. So, where do you sit right now? Looking at the full picture, the underlying pattern becomes obvious. Moving up isn't strictly about earning more at first. It's about keeping a portion of what you make and putting that gap to work. Every wealthy Australian started with the exact same move, spending less than they earn and investing the difference consistently. If you're in the middle, remember that jumping to the next tier is mostly about refining your habits, not just your income. No matter where you stand today, the next financial level is entirely achievable if you stay honest about your numbers. If this breakdown helped you see the big picture, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I'll see you next time.